back in the days when we were in school, in the university, we had it all going so very well for us, okay? And we lived life to extremes, okay? What we thought was life, we lived it to the extremes, okay?
Wow.
And worse still, I was coming from a good looking. I had some good looks, and I was studying one of the very noble professions, back in the day.
Yeah.
And so we had, and I was working in a radio station.
Oh.
Added to it, so I was making money as a student, and I had it all going. Everybody wanted to be associated with me, and the whole thing overwhelmed me, and I got lost in that frenzy. I got lost in that lifestyle. So it was partying, it was rollicking, it was all sorts of the negatives. I would call them negatives because now I know better that they were real negatives. Okay?
Yeah.
And this happened for about a couple of 3-4 years. My course was a 6-year course until I met the woman I'm married to right now in my 4th year. And she practically stopped me on my tracks. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. The big story here is this. Without sounding too biblical, but I would have to take some extracts from the Bible.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure.
The word sex, sexual intercourse, is not just a physical act. It is both physical and spiritual. Because if you get back to the Bible, God said the man and wife should stay together and procreate. Okay? And what it means is that the man stays with his wife, and God places his spirit in that child. So it's a tripartite arrangement.
Yeah.
So, but while we were growing up, and even up till now, it's even worse now, because the young fellows right now don't believe what I'm just saying. They feel that, sex is all about having enjoyment. You have a girlfriend, you can do whatever you want with your girlfriend, and so on and so forth. But it's a lot, much, much deeper than that. And the disastrous consequences that, and I'm telling you this from experience, there is absolutely nobody, I say it again, there is absolutely nobody that indulges in premarital sex that gets away with the consequences. Absolutely none. Okay? Wow. You can take these words to the bank and they will pay you in dollars. Absolutely nobody that indulges in premarital sex that gets away with the consequence. Okay? Because this is the way it works. The power of procreation is the greatest gift God gave to man. Greatest gift God gave to man, to join him in the work of creation. And the only way that can be effected is when a man gets to have intercourse with his wife. All right? And so when you use the greatest power, the greatest gift God gave to man, and you use it to spite God, the consequences are coming. They must come. Okay? So I am sharing this with the world because everybody's listening. Okay?
Yeah.
And if at mid-60s, I can comfortably tell you this. I suffered my own consequences.
I was waiting for that, to be honest.
I suffered my own consequences. I'm possibly suffering it still. My only greatest luck was that I stopped on time. Okay. But for my friends and colleagues and classmates who went beyond our graduation and went into the world and continued in that life, their situations were worse than mine.
Wow.
Okay? And so what am I advising to the young people? Okay? And okay, let me have it this way. I have 3 kids, and when my kids were growing up, when they got to adolescent age, I sat them down, and I told them, listen, I'm not going to hide behind shades and shadows. All right, I was at this your age back in time, and this is the way I lived my life back then. I would never want you guys to live the way I lived, because there are consequences.
Yeah.
All right, and thanks be to God, they followed that advice. So my advice to generality of people, youngsters these days, is that it is not fanciful. No, it is not fashion. It's not fashionable. No, it is not trending. No, that act is a very, very serious act in the sight of God. If you abuse it, you are in for it.
Thank you.
You are certainly in for it.
So he said something that I want to underscore. He says you don't get away with sexual acts. Nobody gets away with nothing, actually. There's nothing that you do against the order of good or the truth that you get away with. Nothing. You don't get away with anything. Nothing. You don't get... So you could do something and think, well, there are no consequences. That's being an idiot, actually. You don't get away with anything. It comes right back because it's a circle. And that's even in objective reality. Remember that there are laws. You cannot violate a law and get away with it. It's not like the supreme laws are not like the Nigerian courts where a judge is favorable to you, or you can pay someone off and they can flip the case. No. You get away with nothing because the ultimate judge is just. All right. So he said all of you should stop sleeping around. I know you heard it. I know in your mind, you agree. But I'll wait for your confession because that's the real McCoy.